Welcome to Vegas Circle Podcast with your hosts, Paki and Chris. We are people who are passionate about business, success, and culture. And this is our platform to showcase the people in our city who make it happen. On today's podcast, man, we got something special, man. We've got a young entrepreneur, started off as a dishwasher. Originally, he's been building this business for about 5 years now, built it into a multi-million-dollar business. He's actually the owner of Vanilla Rice Hibachi House. We got celebrity chef, Mr. Zach Tolen, man.
What's going on?
AKA Vanilla Rice,
That's
man.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for the intro.
This
appreciate
was
it.
well overdue, man.
Yeah, for sure.
We've been in a lot of the same circles, man.
Yeah,
and,
we're very
finally got a
very
chance to connect on
close.
the phone and be able to put this together, man. But let's jump right in, man. So where'd you get your start, man? So originally started off, was it you and your brother as dishwashers? Yep.
So it was me at first,
Okay.
washing dishes, and then my brother was like, "Man, I'm trying to make some money too, you know." And so luckily, the owner of the restaurant, let's just say we weren't legally allowed to work at the time. I was 15.
I was gonna say y'all look young as hell.
Yeah. You saw that picture?
Yes.
Yeah, I was 15. He was 12, and so as long as we stayed in the dish pit and had somebody else putting the dishes away, we were cool.
You get cash too, so even better.
Oh yeah. And they could pay us little, like they did like $7 an hour, which like to us, like this is amazing.
You're rich,
you know.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, we felt rich. Yeah.
So you got one thing I noticed about you, man, is you have a great energy when you're building your YouTube channels, when you do your videos. It's definitely you could feel the energy from it. Where did you get this confidence from? And what actually catapulted you to actually start your own business? Because it's hard to do. The restaurant business is hard.
Well, the confidence, I think, definitely stems from my parents. Right?
Okay.
My parents are very outgoing. They're in the music industry, so they've been professional musicians their whole life. My dad passed away when I was 15,
Man,
but
sorry to hear that. Yep.
yeah, it's definitely he was somebody that, we'd go to the grocery store and I'm like yanking on his shorts like, "Dad, can we go?" He's just in there talking to everybody. "Hey, good to see you again." I'm like, "We just saw him 2 days ago. Like, let's go." And would talk to anybody, didn't matter, white, black, it didn't matter. He was talking to anybody. And he's also from Philadelphia.
Okay.
So they're City of Brotherly Love, that's just
We
kind
were
of
just
what you do.
I went to Philadelphia.
Good times
Okay.
there.
Oh, nice.
One of my
You guys
favorite
like it?
cities, man.
Yeah,
One of my favorite cities.
It's an amazing place. And so, they're very personable, outgoing, and they're in the entertainment industry. So I just think over the years, I kind of just picked that up on my own, and myself turned into that personality. I mean, I would get kicked out of class for talking too much, but, just having a conversation, make cracking jokes, and just being confident. I don't really know. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get those things where you're just like, well, I wonder that sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But to start my own business, I like you said, I started as a dishwasher, and I just kept. And it sounds funny because I wasn't chasing money, but I wanted to get a raise.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is actually the title of my book that's going to come out this year. It's called "Dishwashers Don't Get Raises." And
You're good with the branding, boy.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
You're good with the branding.
Well, that actually wasn't. What's funny is like these are things that people said to me, right? Like somebody called me Vanilla Rice, so I turned it into that. Somebody said my boss, I was like, "Hey man, I heard about this raise thing. Look, I want to get a raise." And he looks me in the eyes and he's like, "Yeah, but dishwashers don't get raises."
Oh dang, yeah, that's such a stage, right?
Yeah, and that was one of those pivotal moments in my life of like, well, how the hell do I get a raise? And then, over time, and then it'll be about like, adding value and coming up and stuff like that. So, I basically did every position in the restaurant, and, it was just time to either, there's a couple that I joke, there's a few different angles you go once you hit the top of like a family-owned restaurant. You either go to culinary school and get into the hotel, or you start your own business, or you become an alcoholic and you never leave that restaurant. You know? And I kind of and I kind of saw different people go different routes. And just super quick, I actually cooked at Osaka Japanese Bistro on Horizon Ridge and Eastern. So obviously you guys know that area, very wealthy area. And I wasn't just a cook that cooks in the back of the restaurant. Like nobody knows who I am. I'm super quiet. I was out there entertaining and having conversations with the guests. So, I'm asking them, "Hey, what do you guys do? Like, this is the third time I've seen you here this week, eating hibachi 3 times a week is not normal."
Yeah. And it's not, it's
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's not a normal thing to do, but they're coming on a Tuesday getting the sake, and I even ended up cooking for, you guys know Bradley.
Oh, yeah.
I cooked for him so many times. That's how I found out about who the guy was. And so, I'm asking, and I just keep hearing business, and I work for myself and all that kind of stuff. So, that was the route I thought I wanted to take.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried school, by the way. I did. It just,
Is that kind of how you always felt? So I know you go through and you start through the dishwasher path, right? And then did you do like the server route and then ultimately land on being a cook or management, or like have you tried all the different aspects of the business, or did you land on being like cooking as your passion?
Yeah, no. So I definitely was not expecting to ever be a cook. Ever.
Yeah,
never.
That's where you kind of fall into.
Yeah, I kind of fell in there, but I did every position in the restaurant, but not as a title, right? Like I served tables, but I was never a server.
I understand.
Like I was the kind of guy that if I'm just standing there not really doing anything, And I didn't smoke cigarettes. I never smoked cigarettes. I mean, I've tried it, you're right, you know, but I wasn't the guy that was like, oh, there's nothing to do. Let me go take a smoke break. I'm in the restaurant. I'm bored. Yeah. And I'm the young, you know, white guy in the restaurant. They're all looking at me like, yo, Zach, what you doing? Just standing there. So I'd always, you know, hey, what do you guys need? You guys need any help? Hey, bring these waters here. Hey, this, that. And so also I learned that. I rolled sushi. And then, but how I got out of the dish pit was the owner of the restaurant. He was like, hey, man, well, if you want to cut some vegetables, you can cut some vegetables. I'll give you like a 50-cent raise. And so that just kind of went like, well, what's after cutting vegetables and peeling shrimp? And then what's after peeling shrimp? And then next thing you know, it just kind of spiraled into cooking.
Yeah. Yeah. And then cooking is like where you landed on being like the thing you're most passionate about before moving into your own business, right? Yeah. I think like we all have different aspects of it. Like maybe you love business or maybe you love the customer service. Is cooking like the part of it that made you want to branch in? Like I could do this. I could provide great quality food.
So I think it was actually more of and it's funny because my restaurant right now is all takeout.
Oh, it's only takeout.
It's only takeout.
Oh, okay,
so there's so a lot of people, because Hibachi is the show and all that kind of stuff, and I did that for 8 years, people think, you know, I'm training my customers and new people that check out the brand that it is only takeout and it's a different kind of model.
Interesting.
But at the time, though, I actually didn't even really like cooking. I just liked entertaining. I love going out there, taking shots at the customers, you know, throwing the eggs in the hat, you know, getting a few numbers, you know, like I enjoyed that, right? Like that was the most fun. And I always joked like, and you just have to cook to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Right. And then it just turned into, I just kept getting requests. Right? I was like, I didn't even know I could get a request. And it went from like 1 a night.
Like
yeah. They're like, hey, we want 7 o'clock tonight. Can Zach cook for us? They would say, can that white guy cook for us? We don't remember his name.
That's hilarious.
And it went from like 1 a month. And I was like, oh my God, I just got to, somebody asked for me. Like, because one of the first tables I went to, they like did this little whisper to the side. And the server comes up to me and goes, hey, Zach, they want an Asian guy. And I'm like, damn, like that was soul crushing, you know? That was so, I was like, all right, fine. Right? I'm 17 at the time. I'm like, whatever, dude. Like, screw you guys, right? But like I said, so it went from 1 a month to 1 a week to 1 a day to like, I was getting 12 requests a day. Like New Year's Eve, the busy nights, I'm probably, let's say we have 50 reservations, I'm probably requested for 30 of them.
That's wild. Yeah, because Hibachi is different. Like you are putting on a show. Like you're not just
oh no,
cooking.
we're cooking and we are flipping eggs in the hat, knives behind the back, fire on our hands, doing all that fun stuff. And but while going so fast, because you know at the end of the day we got a lot of reservations and you know we got to turn these tables out, you know. And so I think I really loved the entertainment part more than the cooking.
What made you go to the model of takeout?
So at the time, you know, my friends would come, right? So obviously I was cooking for, you know, families and birthdays and they want the entertainment. But then my friends would come and they would come once or twice a week and I'm doing the regular spiel, the onion volcano, choo-choo. And they're like, bro, just cook the food, dude.
Just
like,
we're
good. We're good. We don't need to, we know you could do this, Zach. And my boss is over there like, keep doing the show. Cause that's the job. And so that one started like really resonating with me. Like, just cook the food. Just cook. This guy loves coming here. He tells me don't even do the show. Multiple
He's
people.
still going to pay for it.
He's still going to pay the same exact price, but just cook the food. I just want to eat. I'm not here with a family. I'm here with a homie. We just came and stopped by to see you. Yeah. And then also too, I mean, it's a lot cheaper to open a restaurant. That's all takeout.
Especially Hibachi.
Yeah, then a full sit down with 8 to 10 tables, hood vents, all that. So that was kind of the model I just thought to do. And I
mean, it makes sense because I'm not, honestly, to be candid, I don't go to Hibachi because I don't want the whole show. Like that's my whole thing is like, I don't want to sit there. I'm on just a date night. I'm trying with a group of people that I don't know and I'm getting a whole show. They're throwing eggs at me and shrimp and stuff. I'm good.
And I always say, right, like we're never going to take that model away from what they've built.
It's great.
What the traditional hibachi has built. We'll never. I mean, there's still birthdays and homecomings and
my kids love it.
Yeah. He's got kids and you know wedding receptions, all that kind of stuff. We'll never take that away. That's still going to be there. But we're making food for people that don't, like you said, they don't want a shrimp tossed in their mouth.
Or so you want one of both.
Like or they don't want to sit with people that they don't know. Right? Like I saw that on Valentine's Day. You know, you're getting couples at parties of 2, and they're not just going to sit 2 people at a table that sits 10. Yeah, you're getting 4 parties of 2 at one table.
That's my biggest problem. I don't like sitting with random people, especially when I'm trying to eat dinner. Like I just want to.
well, here's another one that I would notice. Right, it's like you're sitting with let's say there's 4 people here and 4 people here, and these 4 just came out just to eat, and these 4 came out because it's the kid's birthday. So now I'm entertaining the kid, and these people are like, bro,
that's a good point.
That is very
true.
Like,
come on, and obviously I haven't had too much of a bad experience where they understood, but I'm not stupid. I see in their face, they're like, bro, you know, like getting the kid on the grill, you know, making them have a good time. So
it makes a lot of sense. When did you actually start then? So when did you actually open up the first kind of brick and mortar, of the Hibachi House? Was that 8 years ago or?
No. So when I've only had my restaurant for 3 years.
Oh, okay.
I've had the brand for 5.
Okay.
But in total, cooking and in the restaurant industry, starting as a dishwasher, it's been about 13 years.
Oh, so, okay. So you put in work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they say like the restaurant business, we've had multiple chefs on and just restaurant folks and just in general, one of the hardest businesses just to stay in. Like,
nah, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Okay,
well, I mean, what's your secret to be able to do? Because I know you have your YouTube channel. You're talking about it, kind of teaching folks, but what is that secret? What's helped you keep that?
What's the secret?
I think it's 80. I think it's what was it? 80%. I think I read that.
It's high. It's up there.
It's like
80%
within the first year or something.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty ridiculous.
I was reading. I think it's the first year. It's only like 23% that fail.
But
I'm saying years. Like I think it's like 80. Like after 5 years.
After 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Yeah, we're into year 5 now, and so we're I'm praying to the Lord and just keep doing what I'm doing. And
real, yeah.
Things are working, but I think obviously good food. Right, because I know restaurants that have zero. I mean, obviously, you guys see my social media presence, and everybody that's going to watch this knows that we have a very good social media presence.
Yep.
But I have restaurants like one of my favorite spots, and it's just like hole in the wall, one spot. Their sign is cracking on the side of the building. They have 120 followers on social media, and they're busy every single day.
Yeah.
Ross J's Aloha Kitchen.
Oh yeah.
That spot. Yeah,
her favorite.
That spot is fire. I've been going there since I was 14 years old. Somebody the other day was like, "What you know about this spot?" I said, "Bro, I've been coming here. Like, get out of here."
And their social media is whack, but the food is good.
The food is good,
awesome.
but they've been there for a very long time, and then word of mouth. So like,
that's the community.
There's those one-off restaurants like that, but but they've been here for so long that they're not going anywhere. Right? They're not going anywhere. They don't even open for dinner anymore.
Yeah, I think it's just lunchtime.
Yeah, they close at 3 now. Yeah, they open from 10 to 3.
How powerful they.
Yeah, they used to go all the way, but it's just the family that runs it, and I think they had hiring problems or whatever, right?
Yep.
All I can say is for me and for the up and coming restaurants that are trying to get into the market is you just got to be you obviously have to have good food. That's automatic, but you have to stay relevant. You have to stay top of mind, top of sight. Always in front of new people, always in front of the same people, and just really hammer out that social media.
Yeah.
Really yell from the rooftops.
And what does that kind of first 3 months look like? You build this business, right? It's exciting. You're finally making this venture. You're getting ready to throw your hat into the ring and start your own thing. But it takes a lot of capital, a lot of investment, a lot of just overall learning process is trying to understand how to navigate and run a business from scratch. It's very different being an entrepreneur than being a manager of a business. What was that kind of first 30, 60 days look like for you as you're kind of rolling this out and getting kicked off the first time?
Of the brick and mortar, of when I actually started the business?
I guess the one where you really started serving people, right? Starting to have purchase inventory, get your accounting software up and ready to go, as you're kind of navigating that first dynamic.
So I kind of operated from a hood street drug dealer mentality. I did it kind of backwards. I didn't have a website at first. I didn't know even what percentages were. I didn't know any of that. I just knew I started with $1,000. At the end of the week, I had 6. I paid my people that were there in cash, took that 1,000 out to buy more food, and I had this X money left over. I was like, oh my God, I have a business, right? And so that was pretty much the first, I would even say the first 2 years. Maybe 2.5 years of my business, until I started getting around, other entrepreneurs that are in the food space, and they're like, "So, what are your percentages? What are you operating at?" I'm like, 1,000, and he goes, 1,000 what? I'm like $1,000. Like, bro, there's only 100. But what are you talking about? And then he started teaching me all this kind of stuff. So, that was how I operated at first. There was no softwares besides Instagram. That was it. I just straight did it, like the street hustle. Just street hustle, blasting it out there, getting plates away.
On the job training.
Oh, exactly. I learned so much, and I never took any loss as a failure. It was always a lesson. But it was nerve wracking. I mean, I had actually. So real quick, just a quick story. I actually started a brand called Backyard Hibachi in my friend's backyard before the pandemic when I was still working at my job. And you guys have had plenty of business owners on here. What happens with friends in business?
Usually goes really well. No.
It's the most thriving thing ever. No, it's terrible, right? And so we ended up all having a falling out, unfortunately. And to the point where they were like, man, we're going to keep going, man. Screw Zach. We could do this without him. And I went back to work like nothing happened. I gave him everything. I gave him the money in the bank account, all the grills, everything. I said, go for it. It was really bad. It was like beef, go for it. Get to see what you can do. And then the pandemic hit. And I was at the restaurant, and we were working commission, but what's commission on a $30 bot, 2% commission? What? It was stupid, right? And so my buddy was like, "Bro, why don't you go cook your plates again?" And I had such a traumatic experience because I lost all my best friends cooking and starting a business. And I was like, "Nah, man, I don't think so, dude. I don't think I ever want to do that again." But it just kept like, in my head, like just start selling plates.
I just
couldn't go to sleep. Like I just kept thinking of it. And luckily at the time, I mean, I don't know how Wells Fargo gave me this credit card, but I had a $5,000 credit card. And I obviously from the experience I had with my other business, I knew exactly what to get. So I just went on to the website. I went on all the websites, swipe. And I didn't have anywhere to cook. I was in an apartment. I had nowhere to I could have cooked on my stoves, but all I know is flat tops. I never really cooked on pots and pans. So I order a flat top and I get it delivered to my mom's house. And she's like, Zach, what is all this stuff showing up here? I was like, oh yeah, I was wondering if I could cook in your backyard. And she was like, hell no, no way. And I'm like, cause I grew up there and sold a couple things out of her house, and she's like, you're selling more stuff out of my house?
Traumatic experience.
Yeah, exactly. It was her traumatic experience. And so I ended up convincing her, not convincing, but, giving her rent. And she was like, if you break the sprinkler heads, it's $50 a head, this and that. And I was like, fine, we'll do whatever we can. And so that's how that all started.
So you started at bat like Lil Russell. Lil Russell do a lot of he was doing concerts out of his backyard.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
he still is.
Yep, Lil Russell, yep. And that's exactly how it was. I mean, we would have even, so, and then my uncle, I don't know how old he is now, but he's older, a lot older than me. And he's over there freaking out, like, Zach, we're not legal. Oh my God, we're gonna get shut down by the police. This and that.
That's what I was going to ask you because I know they probably get paid just for turning people in.
Yeah, and so the whole thing was, because it was the pandemic, right? We couldn't have people congregating, all that kind of stuff. I mean, we legally couldn't sell food at all, but we would have lines down the street. And the cops ended up showing up one day and they just walk in and, my heart just sinks. I'm like, oh no, we're screwed, right? We're packing up, we're screwed. And my uncle, like an old drug dealer, so he's thinking we're getting busted by the police, like getting raided, For food. Yeah, and they kind of just looked around. They made sure that we were selling drugs and they were like, I asked them if they wanted food and they're like, no, we're good. Just,
slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, have a good day. Just keep it moving.
Oh, wow. That's it. I'm just shocked. I'm surprised they didn't really shut it down. That's because I always get nervous about that too. I'd be just like your uncle, like I'll kind of think you're going to shut me down.
Yeah. Oh, no, he started sweating, turned all bright red. I was like, oh, chill. Like, we're good.
So can I move into the next step, right? You're doing that. You're getting successful. You're making a little money. You kind of getting your processes down. How does that translate to open up your brick and mortar store?
So, a lot of people jump right into brick and mortar. Right? Like they just save their life savings and jump brick and mortar. That's why we have such a high failure rate. Because they don't realize the actual grind and actual hard work it takes to run a restaurant, like the amount of hours you have to put in. I mean, I can't speak for a lot of other businesses, but I can imagine it's pretty much the same when you're first starting. You have to do a lot of groundwork. A lot of people think that they're just going to open a restaurant and they're going to hire employees and everything's going to be dandy. I'm like, yeah, if you're a celebrity, if you have the bank account padded like crazy, right? Yep. 5 to 6 months worth of payroll expenses or a backup account anyway. And, so there's levels, right? Like I recommend everybody starting from the house. You're not going to get popped by the health department if you're selling at your house. If you're selling that much food from your house that you're scared that you're going to get popped, you should already be moving to the next level. Yeah, like you should not still be in your house doing $100,000 a month. That's crazy. And I have friends that do that. Hey, it's all do you, right? And I'm sure you guys have heard of ghost kitchens.
Oh yeah.
That's literally what I was going to ask you. Because basically that's your concept of what you're doing now. And I've heard they're all over Las Vegas as ghost kitchens. Yeah. But the catering aspect, right?
Correct. So like even Mr. Beast, like he would do a ghost kitchen and he would get like Buca de Beppo would sell Mr. Beast burgers.
Yeah.
So I went into, it's basically a shared kitchen / ghost kitchen in a sense. And it's where you can rent out space from a big restaurant facility basically. And everybody in there is renting space and time slots.
Sorry. Shout out to Chef John. I apologize. We had somebody who talked about the ghost kitchen. He owned one of them. My bad. I apologize, John. Yeah.
Which one did he own?
Jesus Christ. He'll put me on the spot.
It was a brand new development one, right?
Yeah.
It was a nice one.
That's horrible. I forgot.
Can't remember where it was at.
Yeah, he's had ghost kitchen.
They're crushing it. Crushing it.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie. One day I'd love to open one day because I mean the business model. That's the business model.
Oh yeah, and especially with the way Uber Eats and everything's taken off so dramatically, and everybody's like, no, I'd rather prefer to go to Uber Eats than go out to eat anymore. I just get all right online.
Yeah, no, exactly, and it's an awesome alternative to somebody with not a lot of capital that wants to test out their food. Their
to see what actually flows.
Yeah, to see if this is even for them.
Good point.
Right, I'd say you might spend $3,000.
Yeah,
startup costs, buying your pots and pans, food, paying for your hours.
That overhead's very low for $3,000.
Yeah, and that's $3,000 to get started. It's about $400 a month on the bare minimum, or not the second tier package under bare minimum. And then you add hours to that. Yeah, and then you add your hours. If you want to be in there more hours and stuff like that. But it got to a point when I was in that ghost kitchen for so long, like I was paying damn near a restaurant rent because of all the hours and you get, so for $450 a month, you get 1 dry rack, 1 refrigerator rack, 1 freezer rack, and 40 hours a month. I was doing 50 hours a week. I had 5 dry racks, 5 refrigerator racks, 2 freezer racks, and it adds up. It's $50 a rack, this and that shelves, and I was paying like $3-4 grand a month. I'm like, man, I need to get my own spot.
Yeah, it's cheaper to rent on.
Start really looking at the numbers.
Yeah, I'm like, man, this is, and I'm also, and then you're sharing it with other people, so I have to fight for hours. I would have to book months in advance to get because a lot of people in there are, pop-up shops, or caterers.
For specific events.
Exactly. I was running it like a full-on, we're open 5 to 9, 5 days a week. And so I would have to book or I'd get screwed,
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So not as accessible as they make them seem then.
No. And that's why I said it's a great alternative to, test out your products, right? And so there are other ones, not to go too deep in it, but there are other ones where you can rent a smaller individual kitchen and you can operate like that. But the one I was in was like basically a giant room, and you had different stations, and you all shared one cook station.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. How did you? So you do a lot of kind of, I guess I would say, menus of services, right? So you cook as a celebrity chef. Will you actually go to someone's home and cook for them still now and do that process?
Oh yeah. Okay, so I still do that all the time.
Okay. So is that how you got your name out there? Where you would have somebody like Dana White or somebody like the Baby or whoever it is coming to town, where they would ask for you and be able to cook for them?
I'd say that for sure. Definitely word of mouth by going to people's house, but also, I mean, like I praise to the social media gods, right? Like social media has just took me to a whole nother level.
100%.
But I was explaining to somebody the other day, right? Like when you cook for a celebrity, and you're not a weirdo, right? You're not a fangirl. You're not all up on their John. They're like, okay, because at the end of the day, right? Like. We bring a cleaning person to our house. If they don't work out, we're just gonna go get another cleaning person. Right? If they're amazing, we're like, okay, cool. But it's to the point where these are high level celebrities, and they're not just gonna have 8 to 10 different hibachi guys come to their house.
Yeah, very true.
You show up, you do a great impression. They're like, okay, I can trust this person in my house. They might wait another 2 days to see if I show back up or something. They might wait.
That's a real thing.
And it is. And so. I obviously I get a picture because it's what's at the end of the day, the celebrities, they like that kind of stuff, right? Like, hey, can I get a picture with you? Yeah, no problem. And then I'm trustworthy. I'm trustworthy around their kids. I wasn't super fanboy on them, and they just keep inviting me back, and then word of mouth spreads that hey, you can trust this guy at your house. And next thing you know, it's just cooking for people I never thought I'd cook for.
That sounds fun. That's like a good time.
Oh, that's a great time.
How hard is it I look at it on a bigger scale, like catering, right? Like you'll cook for a whole event. How do you make sure like the quality is good in every single meal? What's the science to doing something like that to make sure everything is good and represents vanilla rice?
Yeah, I'm still figuring it out to get it to a T, right?
But that's hard. I think it's very hard to do.
Yeah, it's all in your training, right? When it comes to other employees as well, it's all in your training. It's all in your systems and processes, right? You have to have good training systems, and also not just training because I could train you and then I never train you again for 6 months, and it's like every day you kind of get and I don't like to use the word lazy, but slack off a little bit here, and then after 6 months you're cutting every corner, and you're like, I've had this happen to me before. I walk in, I go, who taught you this? And they're like, I don't know, I thought you did. I'm like, no, and I did not. And you're gonna get bad reviews, right? That's kind of how the reason why restaurant owners don't grow is because they're so scared to like let go of the reins to get you might get a bad review or something like that, and you want the product so perfect, but you never grow like that. You're stuck in the kitchen. You have to put your faith into other people. But not just that, you have to be able to train well. You have to have a good training system, good processes, and you have to pick the right people. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I none of my cooks that cook with me right now have ever cooked in their life.
Really?
Not one. I mean, maybe down the road.
Or what?
I taught everybody from scratch.
Sometimes that's better because, like I said, they only know your process.
Yeah.
So you can't develop bad behaviors if you only learn one way.
Yeah. And so it's all with my training system. I train them exactly how I'll do it, and then I retrain. And I don't retrain in like hey, you're messing up. Like, I need to show you this. It's like, no, every 30 days we retrain. Everybody gets a retraining session. Everybody.
Got it.
And it's just like one day I won't do that anymore. It'll be somebody that retrains. But as of right now, I still have the time to be able to do that stuff, And we're doing if the UNLV men's basketball team wins tomorrow, we're going to do 40 plates for them on Thursday. And we just did it for them 2 weeks ago. And, oh, don't get me wrong, bro. We dropped them 40 plates off. I'm like, for the next 3 days, like, oh, my God. Not even next day. I messaged her right away. Hey, let us know if everything's good. Like, I'm still like, oh, my God. Because I didn't fully, I helped cook it, but, 20 of them I tried to oversee, right? But it's one of those things where you just have to, have your training system and your ducks in order, and pray to the Lord.
How do you deal with those reviews and bad reviews and stuff like that? How do you deal with that?
I used to not even be able to sleep at night, to be honest. I used to be up all night. I couldn't believe it. I used to want to change
you take it personal?
Oh yeah. When I first started, yeah, for sure. Cause I'd sit there and be like, this is who I identify as, right? Like I was just telling that to somebody the other day. They're like, man, Zach, you're a little too not passionate in your business, but I have a lot of friends that are business owners and they don't put their emotions into business, right? They're like, you put your emotions too much in it a little bit. Obviously I've learned not to. I'm a lot better now, but I'm like, bro, like this is my entire identity. Like I'm Vanilla Rice. Like I don't know what else I would have if I didn't have this restaurant.
13 years, right?
13 years into building something like this, And who knows? One day if I sell, it'll be sad. But if I'm cashing a nice check, cool. But as of right now, this is who I am, and like that's why I put more passion into it and put more emotion. But at first, I'm reading these reviews, and it had me questioning my whole entire recipe. I'm like, oh my God, maybe the teriyaki sauce was a little too thick, right? True. And I'm like, oh no, but I came to a point where I've cooked for I've probably sold, I want to say close to 1 million plates in the last 5 years.
That's a lot.
And so when I put it into perspective like that, and you come up with the
velocity,
when you come up with not everybody has the same taste buds. Not every cook's gonna have the same night. It kind of, don't get me wrong, I still review it with the cook that was there the night. I'm still not gonna just brush it off. But it doesn't hurt as bad as it used to, I just go, hey, you know what? That's a part of, letting the reins off to somebody else.
Now there's world class restaurants that still get negative reviews, so you can't be perfect every night.
Yeah, you go look at Chipotle's reviews, and they're a brand I'm seeking to be like, that I will be like, and their reviews are terrible. And you go to their restaurant, their line's out the door.
Yeah, very true.
So that's
like one of the best stocks out there too. Chipotle, killing it.
Oh yeah.
Their business
have you looked at their comments? Their comments are.
I never have.
I try not to eat there as much as possible. My girl likes to eat there, so I'll go. But that place is.
Yeah, they have some rough reviews sometimes.
I look at the line where they make the stuff, and I'm like, you need to switch that. I was just pouring beans on top of old beans, and just you could tell because the little ring of the beans is still. I can't.
But I do like Chipotle though, so
I'll mess with Chipotle. Yeah,
I'll eat it. I'll eat it. But if it's only if she chooses it, I'm not going there just because because I can't. It's hard for me to eat at restaurants, especially when I see that.
Yeah,
my fiance's the same way. She's not a big Chipotle person. So
when it comes to like problem solving, right? Like I know you've experienced a lot of adversity. Probably losing team members, maybe people stealing, which is a huge thing. Food getting messed up. Like problem solving. Like what's one thing that maybe can help a listener, or maybe somebody that's a chef right now that maybe they want to start their own restaurant. What would you share with them as far as problem solving that's kind of helped you to kind of excel?
Well, once you accept that you're not, when you open a business, you're not really like a cook anymore. You're not a server. You're a problem solver.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you are. I'm a firefighter. Like I'm gonna get a tattoo of a firefighter or something, just because that's what I
agree with you.
I wake up every day, and this is why I relate to all the fighters. Like all the fighters, I relate to them so much because I look at business as a boxing match or an MMA match. Every day I wake up, I'm gonna get swung at. It's just, have I been swung at like this? Have I been swung at like this before? Do I know if this punch is coming? Do I know how to counter it? So, if I've been in this situation before, I know how to counter it.
Good point.
Or I know how to dodge it. Mm-hmm. Or I know how to overcome it. Then a new challenge comes and you get cracked, and it's like, okay, how do I learn how to dodge this the next time? And so once you have that kind of mentality, and at first, you're in the why is this happening to me mentality the whole time instead of why is this happening for me? Mm-hmm. And so once you finally switch that mentality up, problems come and you're just like, okay, well, what did you do to fix it? And then also too, I try to push that kind of mentality onto my employees, right? Like they don't have the entrepreneurial mentality, but I still try to give them entrepreneurial traits.
Sure.
I'm like, hey, if there's a problem in the restaurant, please try to fix it first. And if you can't, call the manager. And if the manager can't fix it, then she'll call me. Mm-hmm. But don't just see that the water's leaking out the faucet and the water's leaking out the faucet. Like maybe it's loose a little bit. Go and just, tighten it up a little bit, And so that also holds them accountable as well to problem solve. And then now we have a whole problem solving crew, and that's what it is. It's all mentality. It's all mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
What's next for you as far as you mentioned you got a restaurant opening up, was it Charleston and Jones? I'm gonna say you said. So is that the next step, is trying to open up more, restaurants throughout the city?
Well, the biggest goal is I will be the next Vanilla Rice Hibachi will be the next brand up there with Cane's, Chipotle.
Love that.
McDonald's. When you hear all these brands, it's going to be up there with those for sure. And so that's the main goal. And so right now it's just, not only quality of the food, but growing the brand and just pumping out. I don't want to say as many restaurants as possible, but as many quality restaurants, right? Because at the end of the day, I could open 100 if they all, if half of them suck.
You said the key word, quality. That's what I was asking about the catering, because that's hard. That's hard
100
to do.
quality restaurants. And so, I'm 28. I'm getting older. I'm not young.
Still young as hell, man. I'm old, man. 28. That's beautiful.
I'm blessed. I'll be 29 this year, so I'm gonna hit that 30 soon, but I have a long way to go, and I'm in this for the long game.
Yeah.
And once I realized that, it made this a lot easier. Because I have friends that they're in sales and they're in these like higher margin businesses, and man, I'm shiny object syndrome. Like, what you doing over there? What you selling, man? Let me get some of that, right? And when I finally found out what my purpose, or came to the realization what I think my purpose on life is, that like helped out a lot. And I truly think I was put on this earth to grow food brands. Like that's what I feel like I'm meant to be. And so, as far as like what the next steps are, it's just keep doing what I've already done. Have you guys ever heard of Ike Sandwiches?
Oh yeah. So we were supposed to interview. With She's partnered with Marshawn Lynch, I think.
Okay, yeah. That's so that he's a mentor of mine.
Get out of here.
Yeah, and so he's got 117 locations.
Okay.
And he told me one time, he's like, Zach, you've done the hardest part already. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about, bro? You have 117 restaurants. Like, doesn't it get harder? He's like, no. He's like, yeah, you get a little bit more problems, this and that. He's like, but you've already done the hardest part. Because the first one is the hardest one. Building the culture, building the brand, building the systems and processes, building something that nobody's ever built before is the hardest part. He goes, now you just do it 100 times to get over again. He's like, I got to 100 so fast after the first one. And I'm like, that doesn't, you sound crazy, dude.
That's powerful. I mean, he's right, though.
Yeah.
It's funny. We were supposed to interview him during the pandemic. Everything shut down.
God, he couldn't make it out.
Everything shut down.
They have great sandwiches.
Yeah. We were supposed
He's a good dude.
Is he still partnering with Marshawn?
I don't know.
Okay.
That dude, so the first call I ever had with him,
that's good. He's a mentor of yours, man, because he's very successful.
Thank you. Yeah. I met him. You guys know David Meltzer?
The name sounds
real estate. He's real estate.
He does a lot of stuff. He does a lot of stuff. Sports management. He does a lot of stuff. So one day, I do a lot of.
He just had Byron from Look Who. He just did the business pitches.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I forgot the name of the show, kind of like Shark Tank.
Gotcha. Yeah. I didn't even see that, but that's dope.
Yeah,
no, he is that dude right there is like a legend.
Yeah.
I was into I don't like the word gurus, but the social media guys. I got into that when I was at the restaurant. That's what helped me also get into business. Starting to think like entrepreneurs and stuff like that. And I must have opted into one of his like automated messages. And one day I get a message like, "Hey, it's David Meltzer. Want to come hang out with me at In-N-Out?" And I'm like, I'm like, I know this is an automated message, but hell yeah! And so I go to In-N-Out and he's there, and I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy.
That's funny.
And so I went. So then I got another message, and I went to the second one. Or sorry, it was a third one that I went to. And at that point, it's like what you just said, like not Shark Tank, but he stands there, he talks, and you ask him questions. I'm always somebody that's, hey, my name's Vanilla Rice. I own a restaurant. This is my question for you.
How much time that saves you? Just learning from somebody like that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No. That dude right there, he is, I take advantage of these kind of opportunities, right? Because like his dinners are, he does these private dinners at like $3,000. I'm like, yeah, I can't, I'm like, I can't do that. So, hey, if something free came up, I'm like, I'll take it.
That's awesome.
And so I get to the third one, and by this time, he's like, hey guys, I go ask him a question. Hey guys, this is Vanilla Rice, right? I've already bought him food. So I'm like, cool, he's already introduced me. This is crazy. And I was like, hey man, my brand did, this was 2 years ago, I think. So my brand did almost 7 figures this year, very close. I was like, I'm looking to do multiple next year. What's some tips and advice you could give me? And he literally looks at me, he goes, well, you know who you're standing next to? And I look over at this little short bald dude, and I'm like, hi, how you doing? I just shake his hand. He's like, yeah, that's Ike. He owns 117 restaurants. I was like,
oh, wow.
Oh, my God, how you doing? I was like, wow, nice to meet you. I'm like, oh, my goodness. He goes, that's the guy to ask. And then he just gave me his business card, and that's how that,
Oh, that's awesome. That's a good, right place, right time, huh?
Dude, literally standing right here. Like, we were standing next to the whole time. We were there for an hour already. I didn't even know this guy was.
That's why you got to ask, but you never know. Yeah, you never know. When you're not, so we always ask everybody, all of our guests about restaurants in Vegas. I know you eat a lot of your probably food, but what's your favorite restaurant in Vegas?
I knew you guys were going to ask this. Yeah. So I don't eat at a lot of restaurants, to be honest. I usually cook my own food, or I eat at my restaurant a lot. Yep. But I don't even go out to really like the strip or anything like that. Like I've heard you guys' podcast. You guys are saying names of like restaurants
off the strip too, man.
Yeah, I've heard both.
Fire off the strip.
I've heard both, but I do more local, right? Okay. Like like I said, I just before this we just went to Parsley Mediterranean.
Oh, I love Parsley. Yeah,
Parsley. Yeah, they got one off Tropicana and Fort Apache.
Yep, they do. And then the one I just went to is down the street from here.
It's actually really good.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
It's really good. And my daughter can eat the chicken and rice there. And I go to Ross J's like probably 4 to 5 times a week.
We have the same palate. I feel like.
Yeah. I go to
Mediterranean, Middle East.
There you go.
Definitely got that.
You guys heard of Lucino's Pizza?
Oh no, where's that one at?
Yeah, that's on Trop Pecos.
I've heard of
it's like you walk in there and it's straight Philly. Philly.
You from
you walk in there, it's straight Philly. Like it's got all this stuff decked out and it's amazing. I like his pizza, but I like the Philly cheesesteak from Those Guys Pies.
Oh yeah, those guys are good too. They got good pizza there too.
I'm not even gonna lie. When we went in Philly, we went to Angelo's.
Oh yeah, you got it, Angelo's.
Angelo's, the best sandwich I've ever in my life.
I haven't been there yet because when I went, I haven't been in so long. But we did the tourist ones. We went to Pat's and Gino's.
Okay. Yeah, we found out. My grandpa grew up in Philly.
No, you don't go there. My uncle wanted to take us there just to see the tourist spot and all that. And then I haven't been back in years.
No, that South Philly spot was popping.
I dream about it. I try to look up the recipes. I spent a whole. She got mad at me. A whole 6 months trying to figure it out.
Yeah, they're cooking cheesesteaks in your kitchen.
He brought one back on the plate, right?
Did you? Let's go.
He brought the pizza and
the sometimes you got to do that.
I did. I made my fiance try it. She wasn't happy. But
you brought a whole lot of
what are your guys' favorite restaurants?
Too many. Yeah. Too many. And the one thing that I will say, like you said, the Strip, that's what I'm liking about Vegas now is we're getting so much great food off the Strip.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, so many different things is happening. But I probably would say Cali Bash is definitely one of them. Like I was telling you before. African spot Ole owns. But there's too many of them, man.
Yeah, Paki's eating almost every restaurant in Vegas. He has a checklist. It's all the bougie stuff.
You're going to have to send that to me.
Yeah, because it's the experience of going out to eat, right? I just love it, especially trying new restaurants. And my wife and I, we pick different stuff too, to go and bring our kids because then they can experience it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, getting them out and experience different types of cultures and environments.
And then we bring them internationally. It makes them, not be pigettiholed.
No, for sure. So, they open their eyes up to the world.
So
have you ever been to Mucho Loco?
Yes. Yeah. Mexican spot.
Yeah. Yes. It's a cool experience. Like the food's good, but it's like the experience is cool. They bring out the tacos hanging.
Yeah. Is that on Fort Apache?
Yeah, they got 2. They opened one off of Rainbow too.
The one I went to was I think in Summerlin or Boca Park. Yeah. That place was cool. I took a date night there.
Actually next to the steakhouse. Adam and Gomez's spot. So
Via de Brazil.
Via Brazil.
You guys been to Hank's? I have not. Green Valley Ranch?
I have not. Steakhouse.
I heard somebody else just mention them recently too and said it was fantastic.
Steak with the chimichurri.
I gotta check out Hank's. That's on the list. Somebody did mention that.
We did just mention.
It's really nice too. I'm not gonna lie. I was just with Andrew a couple days ago.
Cartwright?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
he's at the network.
Talking to him last night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was like, I'm going to podcast the Vegas Circus. He's like, yeah, this is my business. This is my 85th business. I was like,
what the hell said?
Yeah, I was like, gotcha. Yeah, he's cool dude. Yeah. He's cool dude.
We'll talk offline. I'm curious what he had to say. Andrew's legit.
Yeah, he's cool. And I saw his pictures. I didn't know he owned this. I was here. I was actually here through Saturday.
Okay, that's
hilarious. Friday, I was dropping off food to somebody that Sean was doing a podcast to.
Andrew's
a country singer.
Yeah, he's a beast. Beast.
He's a good guy.
So next up, you said is restaurant business, and you're trying to build this into a franchise. That's the goal.
Franchise, corporate, just the big. I always say this, right? Like, there's people that tell me, hey Zach, you should go franchise. Hey Zach, you should go corporate. This brand did this. This brand did that. Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, but nobody's been Zach Tolen that started this brand, so I'm gonna do it my way. And not that means I'm gonna do it a whole different way that's never been invented. Yeah. But I'm gonna do it whatever way I can. Like, I'm not gonna stick with one way and do that. Like, if someone's like, hey, I want to buy 4 franchises, I'm gonna be like, okay. If I have the opportunity to open 6 corporate stores, okay. If that's the way to do it, then that's, and at least in my world,
you
right?
You just gotta play it. Yeah,
there's blueprints on what businesses have done before and this and that. But like I say, I don't like too much. I take advice, but I don't like people telling me what I should do. Yeah. I'll listen, but I'm just like, okay, cool, I'll take that. But who knows what's going to happen, right?
Like, and it's working for you too.
Yeah, agreed.
It's working for you your way, in your style. So
and I told me, he's like, you got to get to your first 10 locations. He said, I don't care how you get there. He's like, they need to either be 10 shitholes or I'm sorry.
I got you.
10 bad spots or he's like, because this is what he said. He said when my friends were opening and he owns a sandwich shop's a little different. You don't need the hood vents and the grease traps and all that. A lot cheaper. He goes, but when I was opening, I had friends opening up restaurants for $300,000 each. He's like, I was opening restaurants for $30,000. He's like, and I got to 10 faster than all them. He's like, and the second I got to 10.
System,
yeah, then it shoots up.
Yeah, but he's like, I had 10 terrible restaurants. Like, they were horrible locations, horrible buildings. He's like, but I got to 10, and that's what solidified my brand.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Well, we're going to keep supporting you, man.
Stuff.
It's good stuff, man. It's good to be able to sit down with you and see what you're doing, man. We support you with what you're doing, and check us out at the Vegas Circle. Check us out at thevegascircle.com, but you got to shout out your social medias, man.
Yeah, got you. Where am I looking? Right here?
Yep.
It's your boy Vanilla Rice, Zach Tolen. Follow my personal page at Real Vanilla Rice _. My business, my restaurant is Vanilla Rice LV on all platforms. Make sure to follow us. We're trying to get to 100,000 followers. We're almost there. We're at like 71,000. We're getting close. I will have that by the end of the year. That's on my list.
Powerful.
That and my personal brand. And then just keep following. We'll be all around the city, and you're gonna get tired of seeing us.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Well, check us out at thevegascircle.com. I don't know why I'm tongue-tied, man.
Paki, get some tips from...
I need to drink. I messed my stuff
I got
up,
you.
man. But we appreciate you, man. Thank you,
I
brother.
got
Thanks
you.
for your
I
time.
appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was awesome.